Hey all, welcome to the Patriots Window, where I give my 2 cents and opinion about things that just does not seem right. So today I ended up catching wind of the view and the airbags that sits around that table. And the discussion was concerning the fires in California. Now, I am going to put something very straight to y'all. The governor, Gavin Newsom, is also Nancy Pelosi's nephew. Okay. And, well, it had already been said quite some time ago that in her own sector of California, nothing has ever been done about the ignorance that runs in the street where people defecate on the sidewalks and everything. So, I reckon things never fall far from the tree as far as it goes, relationships go. And I understand that Newsom has not took care of California, never made sure that the forests were clear of loose brush that could be a fire hazard, especially seeing that California is always prone to having wildfires. I mean, seems like every year or so, California is on fire, and California is always in a great drought. So you would think that precautions would be took to make sure that California is prepared for another wildfire. Now, I understand that even the fire hydrants had been stolen to be sold as scrap. That right there can pose a problem as well. Now, that's what I understand has happened. Of course, that can also be hearsay. I cannot guarantee that. But supposedly through resources that I really totally trust, Newsom has also went on ahead and removed the dams to release the streams for the Indians. Now, for all of you that has a problem with Native Americans being called Indians, you have to understand, as a child growing up in school, that's how I knew them. Only recently has it been insisted that the Indians of America be called Native Americans, which is fine with me. I don't care. Yeah, they are definitely natives here. And in all reality, seeing that they were on the Americas before we were, maybe they should be called Americans and not us. Anyway, aside from being politically correct in what to title somebody, the apparently the different tribes that lives on the Californian soils has wanted to have streams to be able to catch fish and stuff, and so apparently Newsom has released the dams. I've got something here, so let's see what this is. Oh, hey. Oh my goodness, it has been a long time. How are you, Kentucky girl? Oh my goodness gracious, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Anyway, that is one of my besties from a long time ago when I was live streaming. So it is so great to see you. So great to see you. Thank you so much for commenting. I appreciate that. But anyway, going back to the situation that's going on in California. So I can understand Newsom looking out for the different tribes that lives in California, making sure that they have got streams that they can fish in and everything. I perfectly understand that. Okay, we can commend that. But the thing is, Newsom has never bothered to prepare California for another wildfire, or to make sure to preserve water for the droughts that keeps coming along. And because of the droughts, that allows California to be more prone to burning. So apparently, through Newsom's negligence to prepare for every season that seems to be inevitable, rather it is by accident by a homeless person or somebody carelessly throwing a cigarette out of a car window, it does not matter. Newsom should prepare California, because every year it seems, or every other year, it doesn't matter, California is always on fire. Doing good. Good to see you too. I moved to Indiana. Oh, wow. Been here for about 6 months now and am enjoying it very much. Miss you. I miss you too, Kentucky girl. If you're going to permanently stay in Indiana, maybe you should change your username to Indiana girl. Oh, I am so tickled for you. I am truly tickled for you. So anyway, hear the view, because Trump stated the obvious, that Newsom has been negligent to his state by not preparing it for such catastrophes that always happens, always, consistently. It's no new news that once again California is on fire. Just like it's never new news when California has a drought, or it's no new news when California has another earthquake from the Andreas Fault. It's no new news. But what is Newsom doing to prepare his state? And so Trump is just merely stating the obvious. And so Whoopi, she had somewhat stated that we need to be seeing what we can do to help. Of course, of course. Not keeping it as it is. Quite true. If you was to change it to Indiana girl, I wouldn't know you. But so yeah, we should be seeing what we can do. And I understand that Mexico and Canada is assisting, but I like what one other YouTuber had said, that there are other states, surrounding states, that are coming in trying to do what they can to help. But back on the Joe Rogan show back in July of last year, he was saying how that a firefighter had told him that it would just take the right amount of wind with a careless spark from a cigarette or whatever, it would cause California to blaze from the point of start plumb out to the ocean, and there would be nothing that could be done about it. And this was in July. I think the date was July 9th of 2024 on the Joe Rogan show. So bring it on up to January 7th when the fire started. And there's these great winds. I understand that the winds are hitting up to 40 miles an hour. Now, I know for a fact how it is with fire and wind. And as it happens, fire can create its own wind, believe it or not. And then you've got the wind coming in from whichever direction it's blowing. Fire thrives on oxygen. Yeah, yeah. And it is sad. It's very sad. There are people are dying in this fire. Celebrities are losing their homes. I saw there was a picture I had seen the other day. The entire surrounding area is burnt down. All the homes, you could see every one of the houses was burnt down except for one, and that was a Christian man's house. A Christian man's house. God preserved that one single house among all those that had been burnt. But anyway, so Sunny starts to speak, and she reads what Trump had read, that Newsom has broken down dams, and that it was so the Indians, as Trump had put it, could catch more fish and whatnot. He was stating what had took place, that Newsom hadn't prepared California for yet another fire. And Sunny is putting Trump down for calling the Native Americans Indians. And she ran on to say that California is stolen ground. Now, I am not condoning Jackson one single bit for shoving all of the Native Americans, the different tribes that had lived all across the Americas, over to California. And he would have literally dumped them into the Pacific Ocean if he could have. Okay, now that makes me mad alone. President Jackson. But that is something completely, a totally different story right there. Something else completely. But nonetheless, it makes no difference. Okay, so let Newsom look after the different tribes. But what about the Californians themselves? It still comes right down to it. Newsom should prepare California for what happens every single time. It happens constantly. Constantly. And he has never prepared California. He's never made sure that there is water reserves, not only to make sure that the Californians has water to drink, but also that there is water that can be used to put out the wildfires, or even making sure to make it easier to prevent them, like digging deep ditches and keeping those ditches clear of rotting vegetation and foliage, so that there's that barrier to keep the forest from ever catching fire. And the sad thing is, once the woods catch fire, and with the high winds, that is causing that to blow into into the homes and everything and destroying properties. But there is no preparation for this. And it's troubling. And Trump was just saying the obvious. Now, the woman, the other woman on The View, who is a Mexican, who I really do not know her name as of yet. I'm still learning their names. I only know Joy, Whoopi, and Sunny so far. But the Mexican that's on the board starts to say that what Trump really should be treating is how he appreciates the firefighters from so and so and such and such and such and such and so and so, and that when his administration finally takes over office, they will be prepared to assist. I'm going to guarantee you one thing. Trump will do what he can to help when he's got the full ability to. Because I have seen him do it in the past. Now, this woman went on to praise Biden, saying that Biden, in his 4 years of being in the office, has made sure that the Americans in every catastrophe has been took care of, and he has thanked the assistants for taking care of them. Now for me to give you my best rant ever. I had done a live stream on this one before. My home state, Ohio, in New Palestine, had a derailment, a train that was holding deadly gases, very sickening gases, was derailed. Thank you. Thank you. And the New Palestinians in Ohio asked President Biden, please send help. He said no. He said no. After the derailment of that train and it releasing all those gases, making them sick, please help us. No. And then he flies right over top of them to Ukraine and gives more assistance to Ukraine in their fight effort against Russia. My home state. That made me angry. That made me angry. And here's Trump, not even a politician at the time. He was back to being a regular civilian. And he takes a trip personally into New Palestine, Ohio, and does what he could to assist. When he was president, when Mr. Trump was president in his first 4 years, and there was a great flood that took place in southern Texas. It had struck Galveston, Houston, all the surrounding areas. Houston was deep underwater. And Melania herself went and visited and done what she could in disaster relief. Here recently, the 2 hurricanes that came in and struck Florida and the Carolinas, and people begging FEMA Please help us. Our homes are destroyed. We can't get out to do anything. We don't have food. We don't have water. We don't. And FEMA said, well, we'll give you $750 if you qualify. All you have to do is get online. Well, the power was knocked out, so that meant that there wasn't any online. And even when people was able to log on and give their situation, a lot of them didn't even qualify. So FEMA did not even provide, which is ran by Biden in the administration. And I don't give a big fat hoot if Kamala at the time was having to take care of situations because Mr. Biden is having to take his daily naps. I don't care. It's the same administration. Instead, Trump sends what relief he can. Different church organizations do what they can. There's a certain group of people, Samaritan's Purse. They stepped in. But yet, according to the Mexican on The View, Mr. Biden has always been thankful to everybody and gave assistance in catastrophes. Then why isn't that when there's a catastrophe, Mr. Biden and his administration is nowhere to be found? And here's Trump in the middle of the picture doing what he can. Any of you who watches The View and you believe them, well, that's your own business, okay? But I am so tired of them always finding reason to put Trump down. And it's not them putting him down like for how he talks about people, which is a completely different thing, because I agree. Sometimes he lets his mouth run a little bit too rough. And I don't like that myself. But to outright turn around and lie about Trump is another thing. Is The View so dead bent on burying Trump that they have to lie to destroy him? Can't they find another topic to talk about? And just think, these 4 years, more than likely The View won't talk about anything but just some more trash talk. But what I have seen in my own perspective, Trump has been there for America while in office and out of office. He's been there. He has shown his support. He has done what he can for those that needs assistance. And he has only spoken the truth. It still comes right down to, I don't care who's responsible for lighting the first fire. I don't care how it happened. Rather, it was somebody being careless with a cigarette or a homeless person. I don't care. The fact is, Newsom knows that California is prone to fires, prone to droughts, prone to earthquakes. And he should prepare his state better than that. Period. Period. Yep, he sure has. So in my closing, y'all can believe The View if you want. That's your prerogative. For me, I'm not going to believe them because to me, It's all bull. That's what it is to me. It's all bull. Just lies to destroy the only hope that America has got left. And that hope was sent personally by God. And you all can disagree about that all you want. But I know what the Holy Spirit gave me. And I haven't seen anybody else in a long time since President Reagan cared that much about America to do what they're doing. It's been a long time. A long time. So I'm choosing not to believe The View because the facts that I know. And where these producers gets this information from, I will never know. Probably just dreamt up over the night. All right, I know what I'm going to write for Miss Rupi to write, for Miss Rupi to talk about, or Sunny, or Joy. Lies. Gossiping lies. Period. Anyway, that's enough of my ranting. I do honestly care about every one of you, and I appreciate you all for viewing. And you can have your own opinion. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. I've got mine, and I just shared it. Anyway, I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you on the next Patriots Window.